Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for coming to my painting. At first I wanted to do like a horseshoe with leaves, but then I decided that while I was painting, I was practicing that it looks more like a horseshoe that's being dropped. I will have my husband's story, in while we were painting to tell you about how he came about finding this one. and and so I wanted to, because of Chinese New Year and you know uh and all these lucky holiday, so I have for I didn't really have a chance because of all family stuff that to I wanted to do something that's kind of fun and lucky and bring good luck. And so St. Patrick's Day, and so I decided that I need to do this. And so I come back, and I only had this 1 week at home, and next week we're going but to the funeral of my husband's mom. And so I need to do this. And then as I was doing that, I kind of like to keep the silvery, so it's kind of like a silvery polished horseshoes. This one does not have the rust. And maybe in some future I will do something to do with rust, how we do rust. And so this is kind of fun that we do today. And it's like a horseshoe drop on a patch of clover leaves with some wild vegetation around it. And just waiting for you to go pick it up or go paint it and bring you lots of good luck this year and happiness. And so we are just going to do this. It's actually quite simple. I do use a little bit of the silver, but if you don't have any silver, you don't have to worry. Okay, just use the lamp black, but dilute it into a light gray color. And then I'll show you step by step how we finish doing this. It's actually quite fun. You can do this and make it as a card, and wish somebody who's in a new venture. You can do your magic. You can write good luck to you, or wish you the best of luck, and something like that. Okay. And so this is a drawing with this as much as I can. Draw it will be on my sunsetpeony.com in the blog, with this blog post. I will call it a horseshoes among clover patch. How's that? Horseshoe among clovers, or clover patch, something like that. Okay, so and then you can find it, and then you can find a drawing of it, and if you need it, because like drawing the horseshoe is a little bit tricky, need to be symmetry and things like that. And so you guys can follow along. I didn't do a background because I just want it to be like this, and it's kind of clean and soft and easy to follow and paint. And you can follow along with I have all the drawing of the leaves. Maybe some of them will be just a line. I'll see what I can do. Okay. And I'm very grateful that you guys come and check us out here, our channel. And I'm going to sign it. And then I wanted you to really have fun painting along here, and check out all of my other videos too. And all the information that you need with the color will be on the blog post. But I also talk about it, of course, as we paint. And so you will have not having a problem. Okay. And so I thought this is quite pretty, and it is quite fun, and hope you will join me and paint along. And I'm going to stop talking and go on with our work. Okay, bye bye. Please subscribe. Okay, let's get started. You can see that I have a very faint drawing of a horseshoe here, and it will be very fun for us. And let me show you. Okay, I'm going to use this old synthetic brush. It's a Daniel Smith brush that they don't make anymore. Any synthetic brush, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. This old thing that I used when I was making cards, and I needed some paint that had gloss on it, and so I bought this, and I hardly use it. Okay, so I'm dipping into this one, and that is a gray, kind of sparkly gray color with my brush, and I'm going to just put that on part of the horseshoe, just because horseshoe is silver, I know that, and but however, it is not necessary. Okay, and I will after let me concentrate here for a little bit, and then I will tell you what other stuff you can use. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is just have some silver here and there, just for just for festivity purpose, just make things a little more happy and festive. And like I say, it's not necessary. Okay, and so what I'm doing is I'm using a clean brush now with the silverish kind of pigment on there. I'm pulling the color out. Okay, pulling it out and just kind of moving it around the horseshoe area so that it it will have some sparkling. I'm just, I don't know, sometimes it just kind of hit me. I'm getting going in with a little more, and sometimes I just do things like that just for the fun of it, and so now that I get over that part now. The problem with these kind of also, I would call it like cheap pigment, that I just tell you that I got it from Michael's a long time ago, and it's that they don't move very well. They're supposed to be watercolor, but they don't really behave as well. And so what you need to do, I'm leaving some area over here because I wanted to put a clover over there. Okay, so you can see that I'm skipping area and just kind of uh, trying to just make sure that it's somehow is sparkle. But if you don't want to go through going out to buy some, I also have some real silver one from Oriental Art Supply a long time ago. I just bought it, and because that was what I needed a long time ago, and I don't even want to go dig that out. I saw this was very handy, so I just grab it when I practice, and it does the job for me. And so now, so if you wanted to not have no, actually, if you don't, what we're gonna do in a minute is when we are really doing the main horseshoe color, we're gonna use black. We're gonna use the lamp black color and just dilute it into kind of like a gray, because then it will be a true gray color, right? I've thought of using Pink's gray. However, I think Pink's gray has some blue in it. We might want to drop some on there. Now I'm just dropping these sparkly here and there just for the fun of it. And if you wanted to use Pink's gray, I'll add some on, that will be fine. And you see what the color looks like, okay, when I dilute the lamp's black after this layer is sort of kind of dry. And we will, you guys can decide and tell me, but we're just having fun. And the reason why I'm doing the horseshoe is because it's been a very, very eventful year, as I told you. So by the time this painting, this horseshoe painting is uploaded, and for you guys to paint along, I will be back from another funeral. Yes, my husband's sister died about 3 weeks ago, and then his mom died. Well, she wanted to go. Maybe we'll talk about it in a while. But she she decided to go on hospice instead of surgery. She had some problem, and so we were up there trying to help her. To be with her and see if there's anything we can help. And good thing we went up there, because up there, I mean to Oregon, because there was some thing that wasn't expected. One of her granddaughter was kind of taking care of her, but the thing that wasn't expected, good thing my husband was there. He's very, very good. He took really good care of his mom. I was there moral support him, and he did the whole thing, what was necessary to help her to become comfortable. Anyway, and so it's been a very eventful year. Now I'm going to that's all I'm going to do with the kind of sparkly, okay? And I hope the light is very good. And you know that if you have a tablet or a phone, you can zoom in, right? You can just do the zoom in thing. And I don't think that it's on desktop, but you can correct me if that's true. So I'm just going to leave that there for a little bit of a while, okay? And then now I think, what should we do? Should we just go on and jump onto the clover, okay? Now, we're not going to do a lot of details on the clover, okay? And because and I'm using this lovely brush that I always use, is the zero brush, because I can get it to a point. And since the clover is kind of small, okay, I wanted to use this one, and I'm going to use perlene green, and if I needed to darken some area, I will use the indigo, because what I'm trying to accomplish here is a green that is more soft, and the way I would explain it is that I wanted it to be soft and it's like a refreshing cup of water. Okay, and so I don't really want on this painting that to put sap green in here, because it will introduce some yellow. So I want it to be more like a watery, like you will feel calm. Okay, I think perlene green really can handle that, doing that job with justice. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, now this is a 3-leaf clover. Okay, I'm gonna have some 4-leaf one, and so I'm just using the perlene green. Now I could add some indigo in the middle, because indigo is also a bluish kind of green. Okay, so it is also kind of soft. But if you guys say, oh, that's not enough of a variety of green, then you can also mix in your sap green, at whatever position that you want. Okay, it is very much up to you. And I just sometimes it's your state of mind, right? If you are kind of not confused, if you kind of troubled in your heart, then sometimes you might want, at least for me, I might want something that's a little bit calmer. Okay, so it's like nothing but heart shape, free heart shape, since this is a 3-leaf, it's kind of heart shape over here. Okay, but don't worry about these drawing will be available on my blog post. So if you guys need it, then you can just go and okay, so I know that because of the sparkle in there, so it will dry faster. And I know that this color that we just put in, the silvery gray, it won't move because of I think there must be some glue in that paint. Ooh, I'm going to put this away now because it's blocking me reaching my other color. Okay, and so I'm going to just use the perlene green and do this heart shape. Now this is also quite of a relaxing, you can see that I'm doing flicking mark coming from the middle. Okay, and just finish up the heart shape there, and then I'm going to have that here and there. And this is almost like a wreath, but it is not a wreath, and I will kind of explain what my objective is and how I see this. Okay, now because we went through Chinese New Year, we went through Valentine's Day, and also the St. Patrick's Day, right? And at this time of the year, I always wanted to do some, so what I do is, okay, let me explain this first. Okay, so I'm going into the middle part of the clover. Okay, and I'm flicking, you can see that I'm making flicking mark out. Okay, and I'm kind of doing the outlining the heart shape, and then I go clean my brush. Okay, so this is clean and wet, but not really full of water. Okay, and I'm pulling those pigment that I just put down. Okay, so it's a very soft and gentle clover. I like that. I like it soft and gentle. Like I say, this is my state of mind right now. Okay, I want things to be a little more calm and a little more happy, and like a refreshing cup of water, right? And so that's what I'm doing. Okay, still with pigment in my hand, and I'm in my brush, and I'm going to go and finish up the heart shape. Okay, and that's my clover. It's going to look like little heart shapes. And so finish my thought because of New Year, and so I need to kind of outline it because right here, because I am not doing a background. It's just continuing of that like kind of gentle kind of sweetness of the clover on the horseshoe. Okay, now so if you have to put your hand on it, sometimes you can put a paper to, maybe I will do that. Okay, just put a paper over there so I won't mess up my painting over there. Okay, now pigment, quite strong of pigment of perlene green, and then I'm doing like it's kind of like the middle vein. Okay, and then I'll close it up. Okay, and then before this is dry, okay, I go clean my brush, and now it's just a clean brush with it's kind of wet but not too wet, it's just damp. Okay, finish that up. So it's very nice, very soothing. I find perlene green to be a very soothing color. a little while ago, one of my you guys, a subscriber, told me that she really had a hard time with Perlene green, and I asked her to tell me why, and she didn't. Now, if you're watching, I know that you're one of my regulars. You can tell me, okay? You can tell me if you want, and I can explain that to you. You know, if you have problems with it, I find the Perlene green a very, very neutral green color, and so with me, it works with me very well. And it mixed with sap green and indigo and yellow very, very well. So that's why I use that a lot. And so I felt like, gee, with all these holidays, you know, I really like to just sometimes make it fun. I know we like to paint things that are lucky. Maybe, you know, I guess I will tell you about my husband in a minute. And but I think, you know, we all kind of wanted to do that, or maybe to send some greeting, you know, to greet people and wish them good luck with their school, or you know, with their life, and such things like that, right? And so, and I didn't have a chance to do it with Chinese New Year for you guys because of all the things that happen in the family, right? With all the funeral and, you know, heartbreak, and you know, since my husband's sister died younger before her mom. So that was very, very hard for her mom. You know, it was kind of unexpected, I think. Okay, now let's go, and we will say this clover is coming from... Let's not put a vein on it because it doesn't more in it, because the vein, a stem will be from the middle. And so we can kind of do it that way. No, let's not do that, okay? Let's not do a vein, okay? Now we're going to do this clover, okay? The same thing. Okay, have some pigment and kind of flick out the inside, okay? And then use the pigment to kind of outline your little heart shape here for the clover, and then clean out your brush, and then go and with clean brush, you know, pull the color, okay? So there's really no pigment in this. I'm just pulling color because you can do that with watercolor. That sometimes the pigment pull out very well. Okay, isn't that pretty? And so I came back from, you know, going with my husband, taking care of mom when she was on home hospice. And I decided to do this because, you know, I know that I am late, you know, but St. Patrick's Day will come next year too. And so I kind of wanted to get this and just to bring some happiness and joy and good luck to everyone, you know, who ping along and who watch me, you know. And because I always wanted you guys to be happy and, you know, no heartache. And it wasn't like kind of, you know, accident or anything. His sister died of diabetes complication. And so that was hard. And yeah, staph infection, I think that was finally, they decided that was what happened to her. And she suffered from it for a lot of years. And so anyway, and so I come home and I say, you know, let's do something happy and peaceful and, you know, not stressful with you guys. And then by the time this, of course, come out from on YouTube, it will be already time that you guys will already have, you know, I will have already come back. Okay, now, with oh yeah, here's my horseshoe. See, I have a prop right here. And I'll tell you the history of this horseshoe, okay? I have to tell my husband, he had it in his office. Now, do you see the rust? I hope you can see the rust. Now, it's kind of hard for me to see the rust, you know, but there's rust everywhere. And then I'll tell you the history of that. Now, what we're doing right now is the indentation where the nail hole is, okay? I think... Okay, you guys can tell me, you know, I'm not quite sure, but this is the indentation part, okay, with the nail hole, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. Ooh, and I got some of the rust on my paper. Now we need to flick that out because the rust had color in it. It's pretty color, but we need to be careful, okay? So let's go and do the indentation. And so let's stick with this sharp 0, okay? Now, so I'm pulling color from the black color, okay? Now, because since it's in the shadow, so what you can see is right here, okay? And this is the side of the indentation, and this is the nail hole, okay, of the horseshoe, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. Just outline that, okay? And here's the hole, okay? We also outline that, Okay, you can spread a little bit of your black, and then we're gonna quickly go in there and pull some color out. Okay, pull the color out. So instead of being black, it become a gray color. And this is nothing but we're painting shadows. Okay, shadows. You know, because it goes in there, so it created a shadow, right? And so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and so we're gonna, you know, slowly pick on this. And if there's not enough color, then I just drop some more, okay? And then I say, hey, this shadow, I can't see anything over here. Then I drop some more over there, okay? And then I'm gonna leave some part in case there's a clover flower that is gonna come in around this area, okay? Okay, you see that? Now I'm cleaning my brush and come out and I pull the color out again, okay? Pull this color out. Okay, so I'm working along, okay, a little bit at a time, okay, because, you know, it make it prettier, it make it a little bit easier for us to manage, okay, so you can just kind of go. But now remember, dark color is always sedimentary, okay. We use it in a minute, you see, to work it for us. But sometimes if you don't go in quickly and blend it out like what I'm doing, then sometimes it will just stuck. But, you know, if we make a mistake and it's stuck, then we just say, well, we wanted it to happen, so we don't worry about it, okay? And so as you're doing this with me, you're taking your time, you know, and gently, you know, put in this color. And, you know, so you can see that, you know, because the dark is darker than this silver color, it just kind of goes in, right? It kind of sink into with your visual eye as an artist. And so that was part of the one thing that we learned, okay? If you want something to sink in, then you use a darker color. Darker color tend to push things back for the eye, okay? And here and there, we will just establish more shadow, okay? And you know, I asked my husband to give me that horseshoe because that's my husband's pastime when we go hiking. I'm usually just love to just look at the pine tree and, you know, just the rocks and the vegetation. You know, if there's flower, I will look at the flower or whatever. I love trees and leaves as much as I love flowers. That's just me. Okay, and now I'm using clean brush and pull out the color. Okay, but one of my husband's favorite is to look for horseshoe, because some of the trail that we went, they have horses, right? And there was a fall. We didn't know. Well, we just like do our regular fall hiking. Fall hiking is really nice, you know, because of the changing of the foliage and things like that. And we went, and it was the hunter season, and some of the hunters, I think that's just the way they like it in our area. And maybe it's a part of the permit, and because I'm not a hunter, so I'm not quite sure what they really do, okay? So while this is wet, I'm dropping some more dark color, okay? So, you know that black color can be black, but it also can be gray. And now, if you don't have anything of the sparkly nature that I told you, that gray color, this gray color here, then you can just use the black color and dilute it and turn it into gray, as you can see, okay? The shadow part here. Okay, let's work on the other side. And so that was my husband's favorite pastime, is to pick up horseshoe, because he loved the way it looks. You know, he always loved the way it looks, and he hang it. This one, well, okay, he got two, but he only got one really. Since the years that we've been hiking, what happened is now, so full pigment, okay, outline this, just kind of outline that, okay, and then we go in with a clean damp brush, and then pull the color out, okay? Okay, and you work on it a little bit at a time, meaning don't outline the whole thing, you know, outline a little patch at a time so that you can, you know, it will be better control for us, okay? I'm quite used to color and such. I still do that because, you know, I know how to work things to my advantage, right? And so I pass it on to you and just exhort you to just do it a little bit at a time, okay? So you don't get too nervous. Because if I were to outline the whole thing, then by the time I get to this bottom part, the color might have stuck for good, if that makes sense. Okay, now the reason why you can see I love these pointed is because then you can just be very, very precise. Okay, you didn't lose the heart shape of that beautiful clover. Okay, and so if you like to listen to me as an artist and agree with me, that's the way to preserve your sharp line. Then you need to go out and find, like as I've told you, these kind of brushes, because it's very, very nice if you find them. Then they just they help you in your creation, that you're not as like if I were to use this kind of blunt, how do I get into that little sharp area, right? And so he picked up this horseshoe that I'm using right now, okay, with my painting, and that has been in his office at he's a professor at his school office. He just he need things. He hand my paintings too, and he said, Kathy, can you do me one of these things? Can you make me one of those? And it usually take me a while because especially after I started the YouTube channel, I'm busy. Okay, so I have a horse in his he like horses, doesn't he? So yeah, he want me to do another horse. Wow, that's gonna, and when I do that, of course I will paint it here first. I had a gablet pink horse in his office right now, and but he had the horseshoe on his, and I said, can you bring it back so I can just use it? I'm looking at it when I'm painting with you guys. So see, I'm trying to pull the color out so you don't see the outline anymore. And so he's very good to me. He bring me back these things, and I'm trying to balance this to the best that I can, because I really just draw it on, the best that I can. So I'm trying to balance that. Okay, and so he's very good. And the sad thing about the whole thing is that's the thing that he really likes to do. Okay, now that this is like kind of sort of done, we're going to start. I'm going to come back and emphasize the side, okay, by using this color to the black color, but just a little bit here and there. But right now, before we do that, we're gonna just leave it the way it is, and so that we can go in and we can do more what do I call that? Do more leaves. Okay. Now, so my purpose is, okay, of this whole painting is so it looked like that this horseshoe has been dropped while you go hiking, or while you were in a horse. Okay, so I'm going to just do a leaf that's going up here. Okay, a little leaf that's going up here. And so I don't, really have a drawing of what I'm going, because I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up the composition at now. So it go underneath the horseshoe and come back over here. Okay, so it's a long blade of grass almost. Okay, now I say this is a reef, but it's not a reef. Okay, so I'm in the middle of telling you that what I'm trying to portray is that you are at the mountain or a horse carriage, and then you pick up a horseshoe, or it's just on the road. Okay, so it go underneath the horseshoe and come out over here and cross that one. Okay, and just kind of make a beautiful kind of sway. Okay, now we can actually do the come in here and just kind of intensify the color a little bit. Okay, just make sure that if you can, you keep the point sharp, because it's a blade of grass. Okay, so isn't that kind of fun? So what it is like you saw a horseshoe that has landed on the ground on the four-leaf clovers patch, the clover patch, and you find four-leaf clover just kind of wrapping around it, and you can, it's there waiting for you to pick it up. That's that's my story. Okay, and I really like to stick with that story because it makes me happy, because we're painting something that's fun, festive, and okay, now I'm looking at my vegetation. Okay, I wanted to see some vegetation and see how to put more vegetation on it. Okay, so you can see that I don't have any drawing. Okay, I have some reference picture on my tablet next to me, and then I'm going to just work with that. Okay, so vegetation. So I'm going to do leaves. Okay, now if you guys wanted to follow me, then the drawing, I will have all these leaves there. Okay, but you can see that I'm not drawing it, and I'm just using my brush as a pencil, right? And I'm just putting this in as I go. Now if you wanted to do that, it is kind of fun, because that will give you the chance to practice leaves, right? And without a pencil drawing, you just practice using the brush as your pen, if I may say so, and then it will be kind of fun to do that. But if you wanted to draw it out or trace my drawing, now my drawing may not be exactly the same as this, right? Because because since I will have to draw it again, but it will be quite similar. The drawing I'm talking about, the one that I'm going to draw, so that you guys can follow. Okay, I want this leaf to be going this way a little bit. Okay, and then this one can be covered behind the clover. Okay, now you can see once again how that is very important, that I am using a very, very sharp paintbrush, right? It helped me keep the sharp line. Okay, now see how sharp that line is. Okay, all right. And so as I'm thinking, I'm just wanting to do more green. I'm trying to do more green before I go into some flower. Okay, I'm gonna also do some flowers with you guys, because then it will kind of lighten up. Because if your beautiful clover, beautiful horseshoe landed in the clover patch, then you must really want it to oh, I need to what should I do over here? Okay, I'll just do it. Then you need to have some clover flower, right? And that will just be appropriate, don't you think? Yeah, so my husband picked up this one, okay? So, and then he told me, for luck, you have to hold it that way so you can trap the luck. So I believe him. I'm not quite sure, at first my composition was to turn it a little bit sideways, okay? So you can see that I'm pushing the brush down and pulling it out, okay? And then tidying it up, filling it out, and all the while trying to maintain a sharp point, okay? Okay, another one, going this way. Because also, there's advantage and disadvantage, because this brush is so fine, so there's not a lot of hair. So the body is not very full, if that makes sense. And so when you dip it in the pigment, this is also perylene green, okay? So mainly I'm using perylene green for this painting. The pigment might be kind of hard for you to be so smooth and have a lot of pigment, and that is a disadvantage, but that's okay. Okay, so that's 5, okay? And so I'm gonna work on this side too with you, okay? So let's have this kind of wiggly, pretty line going from here to here, don't you think? That would be kind of nice. So we design as we go. And you can do that, okay? If you don't want to follow my design, then you just say, hey, I'm gonna design this as I go. Okay, go from behind, right? And then come all the way over here, okay? And so it looked like grass, or it looked like blades of something, that you trap. And then let's just have one that come over here, okay? Underneath, and so it's very peaceful and pretty. I just, kind of have that feeling, and trying to, have that feeling, and then have something come over here, because this is kind of empty over there, okay? So it's not really a wreath, it's just a good luck charm waiting for you in the middle. I'm going to try this one, but over here now, okay? And so I do the top leaf first, with this beautiful brush, trying to Okay, I can now, I'm dipping in some indigo just to show you for fun. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and if I do that, I'm gonna do it here too, over here, because then, you know, then the two painting need to be, I mean the two area need to be, you know, what do you call that, need to be consistent. Okay, and then I'm gonna do that. And so the second one, my husband actually have a second one, and I assume he didn't tell me the second one must be really dirty, because he said, oh, what happened is I tried to I just pick it up and then I put it on a, you know, on a, you know, next to a rock, so that when I am coming back down from my painting, no, from his hiking, then, you know, both time he went himself. Maybe I talk too much when I'm with him. Actually, we don't really talk that much on our way up, on our way down usually, because going up is hard, right? Going up high mountains, we always go hiking, we go climb really high mountains, and you know, so we will usually talk when we walk down because going up we're huffing and puffing. And so he say that, so I put it next to the road so that I can come back down on my way down and pick it up. And so, and he say, but when I came down, it was already taken by someone. I guess everybody love horseshoes, right? That's the price that you get when you are willing to put up with the smell of the horse. You know, if some horse had gone in front of you, and sometimes they just, you know, yeah, they just have horseshoes, you know, for picking up, and it's kind of, it really is kind of fun. I'm going to do this one. Where should I do that? Maybe coming over here, okay? And so we put up with the horses and their smell, you know, and so that we can have horseshoes to pick up. I thought it's really fun, you know, for my husband to like doing that, you know, to look out for it and be able to, you know, he really seems to be quite happy when he gets something, you know. Do you think we're not supposed to be picking them up? What do you guys feeling for that? Because I thought it is fine with me, but you know, I assume that if the you know, the people, the horseshoer, whatever you, the horse rider, horseshoer, if they really wanted to, you know, if they find out that the horses, because I guess the horses doesn't tell them that they lost their shoes, the horseshoes, but if they wanted to tell them, I guess they would just say, oh no, you know, but the horse, I guess, doesn't tell them, and so it ended up with us, you know. And so it's kind of fun, okay? And so what I'm going to do is do some a different kind of green, okay? This is during my practice. You know, I have some reference pictures of greens, and so I'm going to do it different. It's kind of like a dot. Now these things I might not draw for you because it will be kind of hard to draw these dots of greens. You know, I don't know. Okay, so it's just you know, let's just do the main stem going next to the clover so it didn't come out of nowhere. It's just a filler. It's just, you know, because in the mountain you can get all kinds of weeds coming out. You have no idea what they really are, but they're kind of pretty, you know, and so they're kind of like a filler, you know, when you are doing things like that. And we will do this kind of thing once a while, you know, something that's like kind of, you can use it on a card. Of course, you can use most of the painting that you know, we paint here as cards. If you paint that and you want to give it to someone you really love, you know, and so that's kind of pretty, right? Isn't that kind of pretty? Okay, and so if we have one, then we better do one. How about right here? Okay, and so he was very sad because he said when I come back it was gone, it was taken. I should have taken it with me, but what I'm guessing is it probably is quite, you know, it had a lot of gunk on it, so he doesn't want it. He didn't, you know, we always bring bags with us, you know, and one of the things that I like to also is I like to get is I pick resin out of pine tree. Okay, so there's not really nothing to these these vegetation is just you know, vegetation that you point out that, you know, can come out here and there, right? And if you want to do, like, say I want a cluster of 3, then let's do one over here, okay? But I'm worried about this side because I just finished that. So, and you can see that I'm not planning this very well, right? Or, you know, more spontaneous, you know, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that, okay? And if there's some kind of vegetation that you actually like, you can do that too yourself, okay? Add it on. Okay, so you just dip pigment on your brush and just kind of use the brush to draw. Really, you're just kind of drawing. Okay, and making things kind of pretty. Okay. Okay, I like that. Didn't mess up over here. Isn't that fun? So it's like we're almost done. We are almost done. Okay, let's do flowers now. Okay, let's do the clover. We're doing magenta color clover. Okay, so use the same pen. Same brush, okay, and we're dipping it in the magenta. Let's put a clover right here, okay? Okay, so we're just gonna kind of push down, you know, put your brush down and push, put your brush down and push, and try to get yourself a clover shape, okay? I don't really know how I'm gonna draw this for you, but I'll try my best, you know, on the drawing that I always tell you, okay, that I will do for you, okay? So it's kind of look like a clover, right? Okay, so push down the brush, you know, you're kind of making it, you know, make sure you leave some of the white inside, okay? And then I'm going to go in the quinacridone violet. Okay, now this is a magenta, okay? I'm going to put some violet over here. What I'm doing is because violet is darker, okay? So I want some darker shade, you know, on this side, so kind of make it so it has a form, okay? Now let's make another one, okay? Let's do 3 of them. Let's put one right here, okay? Okay, now you have a brush and you dip it into the magenta, okay? And then for the tip of the brush and push down and pull, push down and pull, push down and up and pull, some up and some down. Okay. And then that, you know, some of the flower went in behind this vegetation, right? And that's fine. Now, and then same thing with magenta, so that it would be kind of like darker down here, and it will make the clover flowers look like it's fuller. Okay, now I'm actually going to use some synthetic brush that are small and see if you can do that, because I'm not sure if you guys get that zero brush, every one of you. And so if you have any kind of synthetic brush, okay, we're gonna try this one and we're gonna do a clover right here, flower, okay? Magenta again. Okay, it will do it too, okay? So you don't need to go and buy brushes, but I think this little brush is actually $6, and so it's actually quite good. It's from the Oriental Art Supply. If you go to my blog post, and you will see that there's a product list, and my daughter supposed to have put links on some of my brushes. Okay, so you can do that. Don't worry, okay? You can do that with your synthetic brush too, because this one is not anything that is I think this, oh, now I had a lot of, I'm not used to this one. See, a lot of magenta on it, I mean quinacridone violet on it. Okay, I just don't want that much. Okay, there you go. Okay, back to my trusty brush, okay? And now back to the Perlene green. And so what I'm going to do is because clover flower has a base of green, okay? So we're going to do that. We're going to make sure we didn't forget the base of green, okay? And then we're going to let it go right there, and underneath that, the stem. I don't like to make things floating, like I wouldn't just let this float there, right? I usually connect this to something, and that's how I learn in the Oriental art. We don't like things that a flower need to have a stem connected to it. That's what I mean, okay? Now, and so we are going to do with this one, we don't have to, but let's to make sure, then we put a little bit of green, okay, over here, to make sure that they're kind of connected. Okay, now so what we're gonna do is do a couple of leaves over here. Okay, now why is that? Because with the flower it looks better if there's a leaf that is coming out of it. Now this one had enough leaves, so we're not going to worry about it. Okay, so let's do a cluster of 3 to 5 leaves. Okay, it just make it look more pretty. Okay, so the first leaf. Okay, we don't want to do 2 because there's always people out there that laugh at us and say that, oh, your 2 leaves look like bunny ears. Can you hear me that I really don't like people saying things like that, because that's the easiest way to criticize people, right? And so I don't like to hear things like that. But that's okay. Okay, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll do one more over here. 5, okay? A cluster of 5 leaf. Okay, right there. And then we'll do that right here next to him, this little flower, okay? This little flower, we start from here. And then put one next to it. So that's why I say this is a very, very good chance for us to just practice using the brush as, using the brush as, almost like a writing equipment. Okay, so there's 3, and then let's have 1 coming out this way. Okay, so that looks kind of pretty. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do a little clover. Okay, so we design as we go, and we're gonna have a little clover right here, and this is I'm drawing the heart shape, and part of it will disappear into the back of the horseshoe. Okay, and so I'm excited. My husband, we can go and we can pick up more. We can pick up more horseshoes, just for him, for his entertainment. My home is quite oriental, not all though. We have a lot of different arts, but I haven't really, I don't put horseshoes and stuff in my home decoration, and so he likes it in his office. He's very funny. My husband only rode horses when he was young, and an uncle take them out, with his father, I think, but he likes horses. And though I was talking to you about the hunter, right? And so in the fall, in our mountain, I guess I don't really understand about hunter and how they get permit or what kind of permit, because my husband doesn't. And so they come around. So isn't that fun? So now we have 5 clover, okay? And so now, and the painting is almost done. I'm very, very happy with the way it goes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, how about our flow brush, okay? And then I'm going to randomly darken the edge of using the same lamp black color, okay? And so that you can see the horseshoe. And also, sometimes the horseshoe kind of curve a little bit. It kind of curve a little bit on the side, okay? And so that's what I'm going to do that to indicate that, and then we will be done. Okay, so it's the same thing, okay? I'm using some lamp black and quite intense pigment right there, okay? And then straight way I go in there and clean the brush, and so now there's no pigment, and then I'm pulling this out. Pulling the color out, okay? Softening the edge a little bit and pulling it out. Now, you can see that this edge is quite rough, right? I mean, quite defined, and I don't want it. And it doesn't look like it want to pull out for me. And so, I'm going to trick it. I'm going to go in some pigment and drop it right next to it while it's wet. So even though the original pigment doesn't want to come out, then it looks soft. Okay? Okay, I'm going to do it one more time again and explain that one more time so you guys know what I'm talking about, okay? Okay, let's finish up this edge, and so make sure it's nice and pretty. and there's no ambiguous edge over here. Okay, that's good. Now let's so we don't have to be too nervous about making sure that it line the whole thing. Okay, now so let's do it over here and see if the same problem happened. Okay, so I have some black, the lamp black over here. Okay, that's the side of the horseshoe, and then now I wanted to pull the color out. Okay, and if part of the color doesn't want to pull out, doesn't want to be soft, then what do? I will go in while it's still wet over here. Go in and use some more pigment and then drop it next to it. Okay, so it disperses. You see, I'm tricking my color to cooperate with me in my own way. Now I know that white is not pulling out quite well. The problem is this silver, because it has glue in it, and so the color tends to want to just stay right away. Okay, so I think that brush is a little too big. Let's go to this number 2 synthetic also. Okay, and let's do a little bit over here. Okay, because that's the inside, and so it tends to be a little bit more shadow. It be in the shadow. Okay, like I say, if you don't have a lot of this silvery color, then you can just use this black color to do the whole thing. You probably have better control of the edges than I do. Okay, so I'm further going to soften that. Okay, I don't want a hard edge over there. Okay, and so I clean my brush and come in and just pull the color out. Okay, pull the color out. Make sure you go along with this nice edge. Okay, over here. See how pretty that is? You just do it here and there so that you make the you make this painting more, so the horseshoe doesn't get lost. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say. It doesn't get lost behind all this beautiful vegetation that's on the ground. Okay, that's waiting for you to go pick it up. And so you guys can do the same thing too when you guys go hiking. You can try to see if you can find some horseshoes and just pick them up. It's kind of fun because the hunters like to go and and they bring their doggies and it's kind of fun to see if you can get some. I don't know how many my husband decided that he wants. Probably, when I go to, I'm just chatting with you guys now, okay? So I'm doing this here and there, so the horseshoe shape is coming together, right? I think that is kind of pretty. My husband and I also, one time we were with our daughters when they were younger at Yellowstone National Park, and we saw 2 foreigners. I think they were speaking French. And the little boy, the couples, and there was a little boy with them. I guess it's their son. They come out. They were walking. Well, we always go into this deep forest walk. Okay, that's how we do things. Okay, because we like to get away from the crowd and the tourists and go into the and look at Yellowstone. And so I think we were on this hike called the Beaver Pond hike. Okay, and we saw this French couple with the little boy. And the little boy, I guess they are from France, and they weren't even speaking our language. They were just laughing and joking as they were hiking, and it was really fun. And so they were, the little boy were holding a big antler of an elk, I guess, that I guess they found during the hike. Okay, so from what we understand, my husband always say we can't take the antler because we are not supposed to take anything from the forest ground. And we saw them, and I was like, "Hey, James, how come they can do it and I can't?" And my husband said, "Well, they are probably breaking the rule, but if you break the rule and the ranger saw that you come out with one of those, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble." I guess because they are from France, so they probably will give them a break. I don't know if they actually got to keep it. It was a beautiful antler. And so another time we go to a different hike, and a lot of people hike that hike, okay? And so into that hike, we saw a big antler also with the skull. So some animal as an elk has been eaten, I guess, through the winter by the wolves or something. And oh, and many people take pictures next to it. And so I knew that, I mean, if people don't take it, I'm not supposed to take it. And I didn't take it. But I was sad, because I really like skull. I don't really like the antler part, but the skull part is very pretty to me. I'm an artist, right? And so I would like to have one of those, but I just take a picture and admire it with my daughter, and we didn't take it because, it is not a good example that we steal things from the forest floor, right? And so I was being very good. I just want you guys to know that. I really wanted that skull. But I let my husband, say, okay, I think this is, seriously, I think the tip is too blunt. So I'm going in with go back to my trusty brush, okay? Because I really want a sharp line over here. Okay? I really, really want a sharp line over here. And now I can go back and use this one to pull the color out, okay? And soften the line here. I do have my preference for brushes. Like I told you that once or twice, a brush to an artist is like a wand to a wizard, right? And so if if you're used to it and if it is yours, then you will, it will become yours when you practice and practice with it, okay? And then you'll be very, very happy. And so if you like to buy brush, make sure you use them. And even though in the beginning it might be frustrating, and there will be times when you say, oh, I'm really gonna give up, and I will support you because it probably is not very good, and but try to give it a chance. Paint like 10 painting before you decide that it's, well, okay, I wouldn't say that. Paint a lot of painting before you decide that it is something that you should just check and throw in the garbage. But if it is really, really frustrating to you, but a lot of brushes, it just take time for us to get used to it. And then once we get used to it, then we are fine, okay? I really believe that, okay? And so I'm going to have to say goodbye because I think this is it. And I just wanted to do a very lucky painting with you guys, and wish you all the good luck and happiness that you can have this year, and hope you can pick up some lucky object. I know that Americans also like to pick up pennies, right? Or something like that. And so I hope you paint along with me. Now, if you wanted to have like darker yellow, you can do that too. You can also do a butterfly or a dragonfly, that is hovering around. Maybe the dragonfly is trying to tell you, or the butterfly, that, hey, there is a horseshoe there. You need to go look at it. And so you can also do that, and just do a little butterfly that you can find very quickly, maybe, around here or around there, just hovering. But as of our painting, this is our finished product, and thank you so much. And remember to subscribe, say hi to me, and let me know how you're doing with painting along, and have a very, very fun time and good time doing this. And I will see you in my next painting, okay?